So
So what,
Scott, I
what
was
do
I
you
was
have?
just telling them that you thoroughly enjoyed the series.
I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I laughed out loud on several times for yeah, each episode, and I was really disappointed that there were only 5 episodes. So
Oh, that's really sweet. We're very very glad that you enjoyed the show, and yeah, we wish we had like 10 episodes even, but we wanted to put five sweet ones out there.
No,
they were
totally.
fantastic. All right, so Mira, are we starting now?
Let's
Okay.
go. We're recording.
Once again, I apologize. Apple's over-engineered crap is really annoying me. Um, okay, so talk to us a little bit about how the show got started. We were just talking about how there are 5 episodes on YouTube. So, and I hear there's an interesting story about how you got started. So, tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So I had, I was in Chicago, and I had been always wanting to create a show that showed Asian American and specifically South Asian American friendship. And I had seen, growing up on sitcoms, I'd never really seen myself and also my friends in my community displayed together.
Right.
And I was born in India, as a kid, like American television was how I understood what American culture was. And when I moved here, I started to realize, like, not just the fact that there were so many stories left to be told, but also that the way I was actually assimilating and understanding myself within the context of the US was through friends like these. And so I'd written the show just like a pilot concept, and I went out and kind of just went to a bunch of comedy shows and just did like went to open mics and sketch shows and pretty much every day for several months to find five actors and five comedians that could embody these five characters of Zara, Rahul, Joe, um, Priya, and Krish. And so I came across these five super talented, super kind folks through various different means, actually. Like a couple of them I met through friend recommendations. A couple of them I just like spotted at a show, and and also like right before I had created a couple focus groups at universities like DePaul University and University of Chicago, where I spoke to South Asian millennials between like 18 and 26 to just hear more about like their backgrounds and the kinds of paths they took and the lives and the families and the people that surrounded them. And
Let me ask you really quickly. When is this? Like, how far back are we?
oh, this is 2017.
Okay.
Yeah, and I spoke with a lot of these folks, and I was not only hearing so many like similar uh, mentalities and ways that we do really absurd things to try to belong, but also like a rich, tapestry of folks and stories that showed how different South Asians from different parts of the continent are, and that while we do have similarities, we're super different in the way that we go about our culture. So I, built these five characters from a lot of those stories that I had heard, and I went out and I found these five, and I have to say, like, I credit so much of the show's joy and the way that it's connected with people to these five. I think they really like stepped into these characters and added their own nuance and specificity. And as I went through each of them, like Vic, I saw at a stand-up show, and when I met that dude, like immediately, I was like, this guy has to play one of these like brown fuck boys, as we call them. And then I met Sabine at a open mic at a Mexican restaurant where this was like a 3 hour ordeal of some of the worst comedy I've ever heard. But Sabine kept it going as the host, and there was just something about the way that she, was so performative in her comedy, and also there was just like such an interesting nuance to the way that, and she had like the thickest Chicago accent. There was just so much that I felt like could embody the Zara character. And then Saurabh, a friend of mine, Sam, who's an improviser, had connected us, and Saurabh was on tour with Second City, and I emailed him and hounded him to like get coffee with him. And then when I did, I was like, all right, here's the show that we're gonna do. We have no money, but we'll probably do it. And Saurabh was like, all right, fine, maybe. And then we came back with the money, and Saurabh was in it, and he ran with it. And Steven, this might be the creepiest one, because I definitely cold called him. I never had ever spoken to him in my life. I had seen him in a couple short films, and I'd loved his performance, and just his dry demeanor is something that like all of us have grown to really love. And I called him up and I was like, Stephen George, there's this role that I would love for you to do. And I explained it to him, and he was in. And Sonal, I had like 3 or 4 comedians had told me like, you have to see Sonal. And I came and I saw Sonal, and I have to say, like, I don't think I've ever seen a performer embody like so much joy, but also just like, she just really makes you feel included, and at the same time like will make fun of you to your face, and you're kind of okay with it. So that's how
you enjoy it, you embrace it,
you love it. And she like will hug you and then she'll slap you, and it's like the best. It's the best combo. So yeah, I saw all of them, and they all added a texture, and then the rest was just making the show, filming it and putting it out.
How's life, superstar?
I looked in the trench and I popped it right in, and I came with the ammo. Whole lot of buzz in my pocket, I mix it with beats in the sauce and they call it a Vango. Fuck what I talk, what I'm living, I'm